Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, who heads the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, has said that a teaching document on the Eucharist is being prepared to deepen the awareness of believers in this mystery of faith. During their annual spring meeting last week, the bishops voted decisively to a draft document on the meaning of the Eucharist in the Church. According to Archbishop Gomez, the document will focus on the beauty and the power of the Eucharist. The proposed document will have various sections on the Church teachings on the Eucharist, such as the real presence, the Sunday obligation, and worthiness to receive Holy Communion. The document is expected to be discussed in detail during the fall meeting of the bishops in November. The Catholic Church in the United States is observing Religious Freedom Week from June 22nd through the 29th. Believers have been urged to pray for each day over issues related to religious freedom. The theme of the Religious Freedom Week is Solidarity and Freedom. Each day, an assigned bishop chooses a particular threat to freedom of religion across the globe and asks for prayers from the faithful. The chair of the U.S. Bishops' Religious Freedom Committee, Cardinal Dolan of New York, said that religious freedom is for all people, adding that it is also one of the cornerstones on which the country was founded. The prelate also urged Catholics to pray for fellow Christians facing persecution in Nigeria, Nicaragua, and Iraq. Prayer themes include conscience rights for healthcare workers, Iraqi Christians, adoption and foster care, church vandalism, and the Equality Act. The nonprofit organization called For the Martyrs is organizing a march in Washington, D.C. on September 25th to spread awareness on the unprecedented number of Christians who are killed for their faith. According to the founder of the organization, Gia Shakun, if more people become aware of the crisis of Christian persecution, then more can be done to bring aid to the suffering people. The March for the Martyrs will begin at Freedom Plaza and proceed to the White House before returning to the hotel, where a conference will be held in the evening. According to a report prepared by the church agency Aid to the Church in Need, almost 340 million Christians suffer from some form of persecution around the world. Pope Francis has once again shown his concern for prisoners by hosting a group of inmates of a Roman jail at his residence. On Monday, June 21st, the Holy Father met 20 prisoners from a low-security jail in the Rebibia complex in the eastern suburb of the city. The prison houses those with addictive disorders. The group comprised the prison director, the chaplain, and other officials. After the meeting with the pontiff at Casa Santa Marta, the inmates were taken to the Vatican Museum, which started readmitting visitors on May 3rd. A riot took place at the Rebibia prison complex in March last year in protest against the government decision to prohibit visits to inmates following the spread of the pandemic. Here's good news from Russia. A Catholic church that was destroyed in a fire in 2018 has been rebuilt and reconsecrated. The consecration of the new church dedicated to Saint Anthony of Padua in the Siberian village of Białystok was attended by the Polish Consul General Krzysztof Świderek, who donated a reproduction of the icon of the Black Madonna of Częstochowa, the patroness of Poland. The church was rebuilt with contributions from Poland, Germany, England, and other countries. It was originally built in 1908 by Polish nationals exiled to Siberia. However, during the Stalinist persecution, the church was turned into a depot and later a house of culture. It was returned to the Catholics in 1990 following the disintegration of the USSR. Catholic and Anglican bishops in Britain and France reiterated their plea for better treatment of undocumented immigrants who enter France to cross over to the UK. In a joint statement issued on June 20th, which is commemorated as World Refugee Day, the bishops said that immigrants are fellow human beings who deserve assistance to find shelter so that they can live in dignity. The prelates also expressed happiness over generous help coming from various individuals to provide accommodation to the migrants. The bishops issued a statement following the rescue of 80 migrants by French authorities as they were crossing the English Channel. Meanwhile, the church in the French coastal town of Calais has denounced the plight of countless migrants lodged in makeshift camps and has sought a humanitarian solution. Prime Minister Viktor Orban of Hungary has once again stressed the need to protect the traditional family and Christian identity of his country. In an interview with a Croatian Catholic publication, Orban said that every national community needs a vision and Christian democratic politics as a mandate in relation to the Christian culture. According to the Hungarian premier, the concept of the Christian family must be defended, and likewise with the Christian ethos of the country. He said if Hungarians had not followed Christianity for a millennium, they would have disappeared. In the interview, Orban has deplored the divisions of Christianity and stressed the need to pray for unity of churches amid the growing hostility against the faith in Europe. When asked about the upcoming Eucharistic Congress, the premier, who is a Calvinist, said he understands the beauty of the Eucharist as his wife and 4 daughters are Catholics. Pope Francis has appointed 12 new members to the Vatican's highest court, the Supreme Tribunal of the Apostolic Signatura. U.S. Cardinals Joseph Tobin of Newark, New Jersey, and James Harvey, Archpriest of Rome's Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls, are among the newly appointed prelates. The new appointees also include American Bishop Most Reverend Mark Barczyk of Altoona, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Pope Francis has also named 7 new referendaries, including Professor William Daniel of the Faculty of Canon Law at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., as advisors of the Apostolic Signatura officials. The Supreme Tribunal mainly hears appeals from other 2 tribunals, and the final verdict is reserved for the pontiff. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.